Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talks.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the
Pep Talk.
Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talks.
I'm literally coming. I'm
Pep
literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass
Pep Talks.
destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a new week on this space and a new PEPAGANDA. Glad to have you guys here. Alrighty, well, we're gonna get to some news today, and it's a lot about the economy because we got some updates. We got the inflation reports. We got which is not great. Not sure if you guys knew this, but the inflation went up. I kind of saw that coming. I'm not, little pats on the back, I guess. But yep, that's where we're at. So we're going to be dealing with the economy because I don't think that it is as rosy as the Trump administration is trying to make it out to be. You know, the jobs reports. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that I don't really trust them. So, but yeah, guys, welcome into the show. Appreciate having you here. If you guys can do me the solid and hit the like button on your way in, it definitely helps out the channel here. Also, if you guys have not already subscribed to this space, please do so. I appreciate that. And also, if you guys do not know what we do here, we have an awesome cast of like-minded creators that we all offer different shows, different types of entertainment on this space. You guys can literally put this space on all day and have a different creator giving you some entertainment. And I think that that is very valuable. I think that it is also something that you don't find a lot of out there. So yeah, definitely consider sharing the stream, getting us out there. We could definitely use a little boost. But I do appreciate it. So welcome in, guys. Also, Johnny, what up? How you doing, dude? Hope you guys had a good weekend. I had a weird weekend. I'm just gonna say it. Like I had to deal. There's actually a reason that I'm going with the economy today. Because I'm feeling it more so than I was before. And I'm starting to recognize trends that were happening in 2008 that are scaring the crap out of me. I don't think that things are poised to get better. I think that with all the gerrymandering that they are doing, it might not end up working out for the Republicans. The most cathartic thing that could happen is that they are doing such a bad job that because they gerrymandered the way that they did, that just so many people show up and just turn the districts blue. But right now, I don't know, man. I also do have like this weird thing that I don't have too much faith in us changing a lot because it seems like America would rather go with their fifis and also do the thing where they don't want to admit that they, like voting for Trump was the wrong move. So yeah, there's a good possibility that that doesn't happen. I kind of covered this yesterday about how like Chuck Schumer, I'm like now convinced that he does not want the Democrats to win because he doesn't want to actually work. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. But hey, we need a ton of progressive POC to flood the red spaces and get elected. Yes. In a perfect world, that would be great, but I'm not sure if you guys have been keeping up with the numbers of people who are just don't pay attention to politics. That's part of the problem. I'm gonna say it, man. They kind of were complicit in losing their ability to maintain their districts. I mean, let's be real. They probably like a lot of people woke up and didn't even know that this was a thing, especially in Louisiana. And then all of a sudden they're just like, wait a minute, what do you mean like this is majority black or like how does that affect me? But then they realize, oh, wait a minute, I live in this district. And this isn't even racial. This is more so just like, okay, if you had even the inkling that you were going to try and vote against Trump, well, now they made it that much harder. And I think that they're counting on that. I think that they really do count on so many people just not paying attention to politics, which dude, almost every day I have a awakening where I'm just like, oh yeah, I am way more online than most of my contemporaries. So, um, which is fun. I'm sure that you guys have a little bit of that in your life where you're the one kind of breaking the news to people and just going, hey, this happened. And then they're like, what? And it's like, yeah, this happened. It's like, well, that sounds kind of fake. It's like, well, here you go. Here's the news. Here's Trump even talking about it. And then they go, oh, um, so like the jobs report. I was talking about the jobs report with somebody, and we were kind of getting to the whole idea that like Trump is lying because I had to kind of break it to him where I'm like, he didn't like this goes back to last year. He didn't like that there was somebody just giving the jobs numbers and then giving the revised jobs numbers. Then magically, once he got his guy in there, all of a sudden it was all rosy. The jobs reports are always better than expected. Meanwhile, inflation is rising. Costs are rising. That just doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure who needs to hear this, but yeah, economy 101 kind of dictates that, yeah, when everything else is kind of going poorly, jobs are probably also not going well. I couldn't articulate that well. But yeah, it kind of sucks. I know that there's like the international markets have already corrected for our jobs reports, and I for lack of a better term, our fuckery with our analysis on our economy, which great. That doesn't lead to us, being mistrusted. That won't have any repercussions on us being used as the petrodollar and just like the basis for the world economy. No, that's not. There's nothing bad that could come of that. 2 years, she's at the intersection of healthcare and educational cuts. So I'm just floored that she just realized her job is on the chopping block. Really, your mom just is your mom a Trump voter by any chance? Because I'm not gonna take any joy in your mom losing her job, but I will at least like do the thing where it's like it's kind of symbolic. It does suck for your mom though. Like fuck, man. Um, yeah. I will say this much, like, a bunch of people that work white collar jobs are starting to kind of feel it. They're starting to feel the idea that, their job could be on the chopping block. They made it to, this quarter, but I have a few friends that work in like they work from home. It's mostly like data entry kind of shit, but they're worried that they're going to be losing their jobs. So it sucks, man. Like everything does kind of suck. I kind of said this yesterday. I had to start my show late because I had a friend in crisis who I'm gonna just say it. When this friend is in crisis, shit's fucked. Um, he's one of the strongest people that I've ever known, but he's also just one of like the what's the word I'm looking for? Passive. Like he can truck through life and not focus on any of this, specifically like news related stuff and just the economy and all of it. But it finally hit him, and like he's got personal stuff going on with it. But he said that because he is now feeling depressed, he's kind of woken up to like how everybody is kind of in this same boat where he's just like, dude, I'm feeling that like I feel like I'm getting a collective vibe from everybody. And it just is not good. Advice to mom, get therapy. She isn't, but she thinks she's Switzerland, so there's no neutrality in hate. There is no neutrality in hate. Well, again, they don't see it from the hateful perspective. Just remember this, guys. Like most of the people that you would associate that with, and I know you know your mom better than I do, obviously. Or do you? Hey, I'm sorry, had to. But no, like I think that people who are consider themselves neutral, they don't follow this stuff at all. They really don't, man. So I try to look at this and not blame you. Thanks, Fingerbell. Pep got jokes. Oh yeah, I mean, I haven't eaten my protein bar today, man. I'm kind of running on fumes here. White Castle was closed last night. God, for anybody that was there, we were talking about White Castle, and I got like really, really interested in going to White Castle, which I thought they were 24 hours. I thought that was just like a basic. Like, what are we doing? Like, what the hell? And yeah. No, apparently they closed at 1 a.m. and I got totally screwed over by that. So yeah. But I did have something awesome happen. I went to go to my Taco Bell app, and I was just like, hey, look at this. I there's a free thing, and whoever was in the chat yesterday that kind of mentioned that was going on. Thank you for like doing that little thing where you like planted that subconsciously, because that saved my night. I ended up getting a free meal from Taco Bell, like free, didn't have to buy anything. That was awesome. So again, thank you for that. If you guys must know, it was the triple decker crunch wrap. It was a coupon for the for the $9 box. It was a free $9 crunch wrap box. That was a pleasant surprise. So not in like the night was not an entire wash, you know. It was I may not have gotten what I wanted, but I may have gotten what I needed. Pep could not do worse than my bio dad on all levels. Oh, ugh. It was a Taco Bell night, I guess. Both hosts on the line were eating Taco Bell. Wait, who else was? Wait a minute. Also, yeah, we saw that Jake he went live. He had his schedule to go live, and we were kind of waiting. So, yeah, look out for that, guys. I'm not sure what's going on over there, but we did notice that. Anyway, I'm still unlocking a little bit. Pep's your stepdad now, Mouse. Yeah, now go clean your room. Also, we're gonna teach you how to mow the lawn properly. You know, I don't like the way you do it. You go in zigzag patterns. I don't know who does zigzag patterns. There's no coherence to it. We got to get your lawn lines going there, kiddo. Also, yeah, you're not getting out of weed whacking either. You better get them arms prepared, because yep. I'm one of those stepdads. I'm gonna make you do the things that your mom's afraid to make you do. Oh God, you guys just got me in a new character, stepdad Pep. Well, stepdad Pep's about to teach you how politics work. Damn it, you guys are about to listen, and you know what? You're gonna end up conservative, fiscally conservative. I mean, I see your blue hair and I see the septum piercing, so I already know where you're going with your politics. But you're gonna be fiscally conservative. Let me tell you something. About 21 years old, you'll figure it out once you start paying your own taxes. God, do you know how many times I was told that? I came in to get chewed out between chores outside. Either that, or I'm like the gross one, or it's just like, what's up, kiddo? Yeah, your mom really threw it back last night. I hope we didn't keep you awake, because, man, whew, I'm pretty sure that some wolves came outside expected to find their pack, because goddamn, I made her howl. Sorry, guys. I just realized that my this is my high on politics humor. I gotta calm this down. I tried to keep it a little more PG for this show, but hey, you guys got me going. All right, again, that line, your mom throwing it back. That's where she walks in the kitchen. You got to do like the casual stuff, like, oh yeah, give her a little slap on the tush. Just now, eat your waffles and be happy that you got that you have a provider in the house now. Make sure that you tell that loser dad of yours that you got a real man in your life now. Can you tell that I might have had an experience or two with some jackass that was a lot like this? um, yeah, sadly, uh, there were the guys like if you grew up with single parents, oh Lord, I bet you guys got some stories too, and you don't even know it. Like I have so many. I'm not gonna go into them here. If you guys want to check out that kind of story time, join me for High on Politics, 4 p.m. Central, because yeah, we do a little bit things a little bit differently. Also, everybody say hello to Lito. You're gonna get the spider. We have a spider right there, dude. You got to do your job. All right, earn your keep. But oh yeah, I brought this back to the economy because that free Taco Bell that was needed because yeah, everything is more expensive. Obviously, I think that was also kind of like a microcosm. Can we not go up there? Here, right here. Hey. You see that? You see that? Hey. Okay. We're gonna use you as right there. Look. It's right there. Look, right by your fucking paw. Oh my God. I have watched this cat chase like the sunbeam off of my phone, right? But a spider right in front of him? Nada. You gotta be kidding me. All right, anyway. Yeah, back to the economy. Let's do this. Let's talk about the economy because I'm sure that you guys are kind of feeling it the same way that I am. I went grocery shopping this week and it is crazy. Everything, and I mean everything, has gotten more expensive. Then we got the inflation report today. I'm gonna go out on a limb, and I think that they might be hiding some stuff from us, guys. I got this feeling, you know.
There is new CNN polling just out with a fresh look on how Americans feel about the economy. The numbers revealing a deep anxiety about affordability, that word, and growing warning signs for President Trump.
That word, now they're playing that game. That word, affordability.
73% describing economic conditions right now, today, as poor in the country. That's not a good outlook on what was once considered, of course, President Trump's strongest issue. His approval rating on the economy has fallen to a new career low. Americans are worried, full stop. Worried about paying their bills, especially surprise ones. About 2/3 say in this new poll that they could not comfortably afford a $1,000 emergency expense. On this most central issue of just being able to pay for everyday life, cracks are starting to show among the president's base. Here are some of the quotes from what we heard from voters that spoke to pollsters. A woman in Ohio describes herself as a Republican and told CNN, quote, "Me and my husband work 12-hour days, 5 to 6 days a week, and we have to decide if we're going to buy groceries
or pay for gas.
Yep. And a 20-something Republican in Georgia put it this way: I don't know how anyone from my generation will ever do anything except rent. Let's go through this. CNN's Washington bureau chief, and
they're not even doing that because apparently, like, there's a bunch of people missing rent because, rent prices have skyrocketed, but it's not like our wages have gone up.
Political director David Chalian, he's here with a deeper dive into all of this.
Why is she in her Christmas PJs?
Takeaway, David.
Yeah, well, we did this poll to do a deep dive on affordability because we know it is the thing coursing through the American electorate more so than any other issue.
God, this is just like that. I have been going on like tangents about how like bad CNN has gotten. You know what? No, I had it like a reminder. Thank God that somebody did this. I watched a TikTok about how CNN has not actually gotten worse. Like, they've always been this bad, and they really have. Going back to COVID, I was like, oh shit, they were this bad, like always. I just, for some reason, I thought that there was like this moment where they were kind of telling the truth.
It's top of mind for folks, as you noted, and that bleak outlook Americans have, Kate, that's like 5 years running now.
Or not telling the truth, but breaking the actual news to us in a way that,
pessimistic
wasn't
view
disingenuous.
Of the economy. We're really still dealing with sort of a post-COVID economy. And even while some structural things in the economy are strong, people are not feeling it in terms of what they're paying and in terms of their feeling secure in their personal economy. You noted that top line approval number for Trump's handling of the economy, 30%.
Somebody said yesterday that you're technically going to have a job per expense. So like you're going to have a job to cover your gas expenses. You're going to have a job to cover your housing. And then you're going to have a job if you want anything extra, God forbid, that you want to eat.
Approved. That is a record low across his entire time in public life. As you suggested, this used to be one of his strong suits. He used to
It's easy if you're dink. Yeah.
outperform his approval rating on the issue of the economy.
Well, that's a thing, actually, Radon. So, like me and my wife, we are a dink household. If you don't know what dink is, dual income, no kids. It is great, and trust me, like as much as people say, "Oh, you're gonna regret not having kids," I'm waiting for that regret. Like occasionally, I'll do that thing where it's like, "Oh, that looks nice," but then immediately it gets like this was my favorite one. I was watching, okay, this is gonna sound a little off. So I was taking a walk and I saw a dad playing with his two kids and like he was playing ball. And I had that split second of like, oh, that would be nice. But then I watched the kid not hit the ball and had a fucking massive meltdown. And I was just like, never mind. Not for me. If you guys do that, God bless you. Like seriously, God bless you. Or whatever deity. But yeah, parenting's hard. And I don't want to do it.
30% approved. That is a low. And why this matters? Economy and
but the broader point was that even dink, it's still hard out there, man. Like we don't have like nearly the budget that we used to. Obviously, like me and my wife, we have the whole health situation that is affecting our finances. So like anecdotally, I'm not the best example, but I can still speak to like noticing the high gas prices and specifically grocery prices, man. Those skyrocketed. Like I went from getting like the same items and I probably paid over $60 more just for all the shit that I got.
Cost of living, 55% of respondents in our poll, Kate, say that is the most important issue facing the country. Do you see here? Nothing else comes even close to it. This is where the majority of Americans are in terms of importance of issues in their mind.
David, also the numbers on gas prices and on how people are feeling about inflation are fascinating in this moment in time.
Don't you just love how she's talking about us like we're ants? Like it does show occasionally where it's just like, oh, you guys have absolutely no connection to us.
It is really, I mean, they're two of the president's worst issues in this poll. And obviously, gas prices have been driving so much of that feeling of economic insecurity since the start of the Iran war, especially. But look at this number. This is his approval rating, Trump's approval rating.
Who the fuck are the 3% of Democrats that are answering this? Like, is that a joke? What? How come they can run the numbers of 100% approval without blinking when it comes to MAGA, but who the fuck? Who is answering these polls as a Democrat going like, hey, you know what? I think Trump's doing just fine. Fuck it.
On gas prices, he's fallen below that 50%.
Wake the fuck up.
With his own
Seriously. Oh my God. Those 3% are like that's the Chuck Schumers of the world.
I don't recall the last time, Kate, maybe you do, where I saw a majority of Republicans disapproving of Donald Trump on an issue. They do so on gas prices and on inflation. It's not much better. 60% of Republicans approve of how Donald Trump is handling inflation. 40% of Republicans disapprove.
Viewers are children to them. Pep, you said it yesterday. Yeah, and you know what? I kind of noticed watching some of the stuff for show prep today that, that's exactly what it is. They talk to us like children.
President's handling.
CBS is the worst with it, though. They might as well, so CNN is like a second grade teacher, whereas like CBS talk to you like kindergartners.
Of this issue, the issue, by the way, that you recall was the thing he ran on in 2024.
I'm joined by a terrific group of reporters here to go through these, frankly, just really depressing numbers, no matter which way you cut it, Tyler.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, but it's totally not Trump's fault. Come on, Fash. What you going to say about this? How you going to spin this one?
Saw President Trump return to the White House on a message of lowering costs. He railed against the Biden administration and promised to usher in an era of bringing down inflation and bringing down costs. And so to now see a president battling the same issue that he promised to address is a reality test for him and for the broader Republican Party. Obviously, much of this is driven by the conflict with Iran and
who could have seen this coming
in lowering gas prices because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. But it is filtering in a sense across parties, across the nation of Americans that feel that things are just too expensive. And obviously gas is a primary driver of that, but it's much broader than that. And I think that is the challenge the president, the White House, and his entire party face when this economic sense is hard to uproot. And so even if gas prices start to decline somewhat in the coming months, Americans are overwhelmingly, as the new CNN poll shows, dispirited with the economic situation.
And it's wide and it's deep. And we're just going to put up some of the numbers broken down by demographics. First of all, if you look at the whole question of the economic conditions are poor, all of these respondents you see there in the middle say 73%. But if you look at gender, men 67, women 78. Look to the right of your screen by race, white, Black, Hispanic. I'm sort of most interested in the last two, 82 and 81% for Black and Hispanic, considering the fact that the president genuinely did better with those demographics.
Why would they not? Why would he lose support against those with those demographics? It's almost like there's some stuff going on in the news that you don't want to really address there. That's a little bit bigger than the gas prices too there, Fash.
Speaking of that, if you look at the lower left of your screen, under the age of 35, younger people, 83%. And then if you look,
God, she must have been devastated when her brother died. Fucking rest in peace, Mr. Ed.
Look by income, really the people who feel the best, not a surprise, are those who make over $100,000, but it's still 64%.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think that this is a huge issue for this White House, but this is also a huge issue for this nation, right? Like people have not been feeling good.
Her new nickname's Bojill.
Good about the economy since the pandemic. And there's also just this fundamental idea of what it means to get that American dream where you have young people who are like, I'll never be able to get a home. I'll never be able to, have a lifestyle that my parents were able to have. So I do think that there is an overall
she doesn't say Wilbur. She says wolf
issue that the entire government will have to deal with, left, right, and center.
Yo, this guy looks like Alex Jones's
but I do think for the
little brother that, he's his progressive little brother.
This president in particular, he is always seen as someone who will break the rules and do whatever he wants.
Andy Jones.
To do, knock down parts of the White House to get what he wants. But then on this issue, it seems like, we'll roll back the gas tax. That's like 18 cents. Like, where's the dramatic action? And I think that people will be asking that. Like, what? Okay, do something dramatic to help lower these prices.
Right. And the dirty little secret, maybe it's not so secret, is it's not that easy.
It's not.
There is no magic wand, which
all.
president after president who have dealt with things like this feel that way. Let's look at gas prices, because this is one of the most telling, I think, to me, parts of this poll for the president, Josh. If you look at disapproval of Trump's handling of gas prices, all 79%. But look at this number. Majority of his fellow Republicans, 52%, say they don't approve. And then in a related but different number, inflation. Trump's policies increase the cost of living, whether people feel yes or no. All say 77% say yes. Again, that includes a majority.
I love how, this is my favorite part about her now. Now that we know the mask is off and exactly where she stands, like she might as well be working for Fox News. She's not hot enough to do that though. Like dude, when you make Ainsley Earhart look fucking, downright hot, you got something going on.
More than majority of his fellow Republicans.
Yeah, it's a striking difference from the
I'm in a mean mood today.
first term when he was in office and the campaign, where no matter what sort of controversy he was embroiled in, no matter what he was doing, his numbers on the economy tended to be higher than Democrats, right? In his first term in office, it was a one issue that most of the time he was above water. He was above 50%. That even if people didn't like, X, Y, Z, whatever he was doing, foreign or domestic policy, they gave him credit on the economy. If you look in the 2024 election, right, his pollsters wanted him nonstop to talk about the economy. They said you have double-digit
CNN's where you go to retire. No, that's News Nation.
leads over Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on the economy. Americans may not
News Nation, where you're such a loser that we take you.
like you on these other issues, but on the economy,
And now Chris Cuomo.
they trust you the most. And you're seeing significant erosion there, right? It's the first time as Trump, as a political figure, when he's been, in public life, really since 2016, where his numbers have plummeted on the issue that Americans have traditionally given him the highest marks on
the economy.
right? On the economy. They would get tired of other things, but they would say, you know what? We give him credit on the economy. That's what matters to us.
Yeah, he never deserved that, though. That was technically Obama's economy.
Lower prices, we want lower gas, we're willing to put up with X, Y, Z thing, whatever, right? It's a little bit more of a perilous situation for him, I think. And I think his own people would admit this, if that under sort of pinning of support, folks saying, oh, you can handle the economy well, erodes much further.
And it seems unlikely that gas prices are going to come down significantly anytime soon. I mean, I've talked to experts who say you can expect for the rest of the year that gas prices will be elevated, and that the only thing that would bring them down significantly and fast would be a recession. So he's in a very difficult spot right
Which it looks like we're heading to that.
now, because these gas prices, which everyone is seeing every time they drive around.
Which, again, not great. That's not a trade-off. I don't think a lot of Americans would be very happy with that trade-off.
It's so visceral. They're not going to come down dramatically.
So one of the big political questions, really the big political question, is how this is going to affect turnout and the outcome in the midterm elections. Put this question up on the screen, if you will. It's what we call the generic ballot. Your choice for Congress, whether or not you'll vote for a Democrat or a Republican. There's no clear leader. Despite everything we showed you, there's no clear leader. Which says a lot about sort of where the brand of the Democratic Party is, and why Republicans, even though these are really bad times politically and policy-wise because of everything we just showed, are feeling not as depressed as maybe they would be in another time.
Yeah, and I think it also speaks to just the political polarization that we're seeing in this country. The country has been very deeply divided for a long time, and people are largely going to vote based on who they voted for in the past. We're not seeing as much split ballot. We're seeing these elections in key states be very close. But I think, to your point, it's about turnout, as it always is.
Dems are ineffectual by design.
And who is motivated to vote, and also those independent voters. We looked at the poll you just showed earlier about approval rating of Trump's handling of the economy. Vast disapproval, not just from Democrats, but also independents. Those are going to be key voters as we head into the midterms. But also Democrats have...
I don't know. I like to think of like the key Democrats demographic is your 52-year-old, second to fifth grade teacher, that, super like they have progressive policies. They're very pro LGBT, but they do listen to like this kind of slop, and they think that, leftists are a bit too extreme for them.
Work to do. And it's not just on their brand, as you mentioned, but also they've had serious setbacks as it relates to redistricting over the past few weeks. And so the map that they thought was very favorable to them, I still think there's a lot of optimism, especially on the House side, but the map has shrunk in some ways in key areas, especially in aftermath of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And they have other fundamental issues, right? The Democratic Party does. They have zero money. I mean, the last report shows they literally have no money. They put together this whole autopsy of the 2024 election. Now they won't put it out because of divisions in the party. Trump's numbers are not great, and still, basically half of the country says in that poll, we might still pick, Republicans over Democrats. I mean, the numbers of a generic. And as Tyler said, with the maps, I mean, there are lots of ways that the Republicans are chipping away seat here and there, right? So a lot of experts say that the Democrats still are favored in the midterms, right? I think the broad number of experts that we've talked to do, but I don't think it's fait accompli, right? And
no,
part of that.
I mean, I hate the fact that he's right about this.
Is because of the space that the Democrats find themselves in right now after the bruising 2024 election.
Yeah. I mean, hey, let's see what happens, though. Dude, stop. Ow. Sorry, guys. My cat just freaking tried to... this is what he's doing. He climbs up on my lap. He tries to go after this cord, and when he does, he likes to use both of his paws, and he just, grasps on. Oh, ow. Dude, that really hurt. Catzilla today. Let's bring up the inflation report.
Back with some breaking inflation data and what could be the clearest look at the economic
yes, Chuck,
impact
you are
of the Iran war.
right, but this is the thing. A lot of people are going to have to step up to really get the Democrats to wake up.
In April, inflation rose 3.8% year over year. That's the highest level in nearly.
This is where I've been making the argument that the worst thing that we can do as leftists is just abandon the idea that you would ever vote for Dems, because then they're just like, oh, fuck it. They're not even worth trying to placate. No, you say you play you're going to play our game. Otherwise, you will continue to lose. And that's what you have to prove to them. Realistically, we do just have to bring more people over to the I'm going to sound like Jake Uger here. Our populist ideals.
3 years, it was up 0.6% month over month.
Here with us is NBC News Chief Business Correspondent Christine Romans. We're also joined by
solely of the leaders. Oh, okay.
Investopedia's editor-in-chief.
I thought you were talking about
and
Dems,
Chief Business
in
Editor
general.
of People Inc., Caleb Silver. Good morning to you both. Christine, I'll start with you just to walk us through these numbers. What are they showing? How do they compare with previous months?
Well, look, 3.8% just shows you how hot the Iran war is driving up prices here. This is a significant jump here. 3.8%. Remember, the Federal Reserve Reserves thinks 2% is the sweet spot for inflation. 3.8% shows you how those higher energy prices are fueling in to just about everything overall here. And it's not just the energy prices. It is gas prices, but it's also this. By the way, this is the government shutdown, so you can't actually see what prices were there. But now we're more like this here. So those higher energy prices starting to feed through.
Oh, I'm starting to think that this is down here now. Guys. Okay, you can't see my cursor. Damn it. That little gap, I'd be willing to bet that it's got like a little dip there. Because, man.
Through everything. I mean, I'm looking at airfares up almost 21% over the past year.
Caleb, we expected it to go up, but what's your reaction to this number?
Yeah, hot, but especially in the places where we have to spend money. So obviously that's gasoline, that's diesel, and that affects things like fertilizer prices. It goes right through the supply chain. So this ends up really at the grocery store where you still see food prices very high. Some of that is due, obviously, to diesel prices and fertilizer prices, but we just have this general trend of higher inflation.
Yeah, we already had that. Yeah, dude, oh my God, they are so bad at breaking this for us.
Mentioned.
Like, dude, this is where I'm just going to say it. And I have been saying it on my other show, and so you might be sick of hearing it. They really fucked Biden. As much as Biden fucked Biden, the news was fucking him too. Because, dude, every report was about inflation, price of gas, inflation, price of eggs, inflation. Oh, Biden economy, Bidenomics not working for anybody. And the way that they have to, number one, cover all of this very early in the morning and then kind of bury it, which I have noticed that, like, even on their websites, when I go to look for this stuff is completely buried. So you have to, you see this? You see the way that I typed in inflation report? I had to go looking for this.
And the Fed likes inflation around 2%. Those days.
Like, it's kind of crazy. Like why? Why with Trump?
Are long.
Why are they protecting him so fucking hard?
Consumers.
Oh, is it because he threatened them and now it's like this whole fucking Wild West where there is no actual honest media outside of YouTube and even they're playing some censorship games?
No, inflation
I'm gonna shut
probably
up
isn't
now.
even 3.8%. It's higher than that when you think about the things we buy on a daily basis.
Yeah, and Christine, let's go through those categories because I know that's where we are seeing the pain.
Yeah.
Caleb
Summer vacation,
food, energy, shelter.
Yeah, these numbers are hot off the presses, and there's a lot of them in here. And some that I really am interested in: fresh fruits and vegetables. Those are more expensive. Household furnishings, airfare. You know what I see, and I bet Caleb agrees with me. I see things that are shipped with diesel, which is 70% of the stuff in the United States that gets to your store shelves. Those things cost more because, look, farmers, ranchers, shippers, small businesses, they have
all right, kids, time to pay attention.
A significant new cost that they have to deal with. Diesel prices are $2 more today than they were a year ago. These are those gas prices, about $4.50 here right now. And here's something else. What we're hearing from economists and the brainiacs who study this is they think that the energy shock is just beginning to come into these numbers, that we have a lot more pain ahead, especially with no real off-ramp in sight here for getting energy costs under control in the near term.
And Caleb, you mentioned the Fed. We know it meets next month. I have to imagine this just locks in what was already inevitable for them.
Yeah, you mean in 36 days, 5 hours, and 13 minutes. We'll probably have a new Fed chair by then. Kevin Moore's confirmation hearing set for today.
Great. And he's going to make decisions that are going to really fuck us.
And the inkling was for rates to go down. Rates aren't going anywhere. I just looked out until the meeting in September. You actually see a 9% probability of a rate increase by then if inflation doesn't cool.
How possible is that? I mean,
we're looking at three months. So it really depends on the duration of this war, how high oil prices stay for how long. That's going to impact just about everything. And then the Fed's going to have a very tricky decision on its hands, probably with a new Fed chair in charge.
Yeah,
Christine.
No, that's what I'm saying. The Fed, if this guy gets confirmed, he's going to try and lower interest rates, which Dude.
This is the first time that inflation has outpaced
And then on top of it, they're lying to us about jobs reports. Like, dude,
wage growth.
we're going to be in a depression and half of America's just not going to even know.
Since 2023, a while here. What does this mean for consumers?
Let's talk about class divide.
Whose budgets are already under pressure when you have a fact like that?
Look, the consumer sentiment indicators have been telling us this. People feel like the money's not lasting the month. And guess what? The numbers show the money's not lasting the month. The money that you're making, your wages are growing 3.6%, your costs are rising 3.8%. Yep. That's your purchasing power. And that is why I think so many people have felt so rotten about the economy. To piggyback on what Caleb said about the Fed, you know, even at the last Fed meeting, there were 3 Fed governors who didn't even want to indicate that maybe the next move would be a cut. It was equally likely that there could be an interest rate increase. We've seen a decent job number in the interim. So if the job market's okay and you've got hot inflation numbers like this, the idea is,
wow, this news is like 5 years
why
late.
wouldn't the Fed be wanting to raise interest rates to not have a repeat?
It's just, dude, anybody that lived through 2000, like I was one of these guys that paid attention in 2008. It's the same shit.
Of the last time we were in this kind
the only difference is that they're not talking about housing.
Of a zone.
That's worrisome too.
Remember when they were raising interest rates too late to try to cut, to try to combat inflation? So there's some recent memory here on the Fed, people on the Fed board who don't want inflation to get out of control.
So for everyday Americans, they can't control what the Fed does, but what's some advice you have for them who are trying to manage the fact that maybe they're even losing money right now because inflation is outpacing wages?
They are. The value of the dollar just keeps declining. Brace yourself for it. And consumers aren't stupid. They know that inflation is going to be here for a while. I was looking at consumer expectations for inflation throughout the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's
we
kind
think
of part
it's
of
going
the
to be
plan,
around 4.5%. So use
but
that.
Meanwhile, record profits. It's always record profits.
As your baseline and build your financial plan around that because prices aren't going down anytime soon.
All right, Caleb, Christine, thank you both taking us through some breaking news. We appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated.
Ridiculous. Sorry, guys. As I said, I was not expecting to eat my breakfast or brunch, whatever the hell this is. First meal of the day. But my wife got pizza, so she's just like, I'm going to grab a slice. Do you want one? How can I say no? Like, come on. All right. Prepare yourselves. Trigger warning, because this is TYT, but this was actually a good breakdown on what is going on. Like I said, I might disagree with them, but some of their reporting is on point.
While neoconservative warmongers like Robert Kagan are willing to admit that the United States has lost the war against Iran.
Oh, this is not cold pizza. This is warm, fresh.
And lost badly. It's important to know that the US isn't the only loser. The global economy is. And there's no end in sight because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared on CBS's 60 Minutes that the war is not over yet. Here's what he said. The Iran war accomplished a great deal, but it's not over because there's still nuclear material, enriched uranium that has to be taken out of Iran. There are still enrichment sites that have to be dismantled. There are still proxies that Iran supports. There are ballistic missiles that they still want to produce. Now we've degraded a lot of it, but all that is still there and there's work to be done. So how much longer can the global economy handle this war dragging on for months, maybe even years? Because oil prices rose today after Trump declared that
who reheats pizza in a frying pan? Not me. I use my air fryer.
He would be rejecting Iran's counter proposal for peace, calling it garbage. So US West Texas Intermediate Futures, they got to find a better name, and Brent are both up around 40% since the US and Israeli-led war against Iran started on February 28th. Citi analysts wrote in their latest oil report that prices could rise further if Iran and the United States do not agree to a deal, adding that crude.
Oh yeah, cold pizza over microwave reheat. Yeah.
Markets have been cushioned by high inventories.
Honestly, one of the best reheatable pizzas is Pizza Hut. $3.50 in the oven. It's right back to where it was the day before.
Strategic petroleum reserve releases, weaker demand in developing economies, and intermittent signs of possible de-escalation in the Middle East. I should note that today, Trump apparently is spooked by how high gas prices already are, that he called for a temporary pause on all gas taxes. We'll see if that's actually carried out. But Cenk, something that you've been mentioning a lot on the show.
He's going to blame Congress and the Senate because the Senate, they're like, dude, we're going to lose billions of dollars per day.
There's a huge disconnect when it comes to the stock market versus what we're experiencing at the pump. Because the stock market is doing stupendously. But when it comes to what we're paying at the pump, obviously prices have gone up quite a bit and will continue to go up as this war drags on.
So I want to go to graphic 9, right? So you see when the war started, the markets crash, Trump panics, does a ceasefire, right? And and he keeps saying the war's over, the war's almost over, the war's almost over. We won, they're gonna concede on everything. And the idiots in the market have the market go completely back up and back to record levels. Close to when Pam Bondi was like, the market's at 50,000, right? So here we are back at 50,000 in that ballpark. And it's given Trump false confidence. So it's a cycle of stupidity that is going to lead to this.
It's also like historically bad for us because right before the Depression happened, there was an all-time high in the stock market. Every time that these peaks happen, it's just like, oh no, the valley's so much worse.
Disaster. Because Trump's like, guys, we almost won. And the morons on Wall Street are like,
Trump is about to crash the global economy.
We almost won. Everybody buy. Yeah, we're gonna get bye soon. And so now, because Trump thinks it's no big deal, he said today, I thought the market was gonna go down 20-25%. So he knew how much damage he was gonna do to America on behalf of Israel, but he chose to do that anyway. He said, oh, I took a bullet for this. Why?
Yeah, why?
Why? Okay, because you're making America take a bullet. You're making our economy take a bullet along with yourself and your politics. And we know why. I don't care if everyone in mainstream media lies to you. It's blackmail. The bribes alone doesn't do it, okay? A lot of people are bribing him. A lot of countries are bribing him. No, at this point, the way he's following Israel, no matter how much it's obviously going to his doom, and when he only cares about himself, that means the blackmail is worse than him being considered the worst president in history, okay? So what's going to happen in that market, hear me now, quote me later, is when we go back into the war, because Netanyahu just ordered us back into the war, and then Trump ripped up the peace deal, and Trump just said today, there's only a 1% chance we don't go back into the war. Markets didn't go down at all. They're like, no, the war's almost over. Bye. Okay, it's going to be a spectacular crash.
So Richard Wolff,
yeah, and I mean, which one? Now we're playing the game of which one happens first.
Economist Richard Wolff made a statement that hasn't left me ever since I heard it because I think it's exactly right. Markets are slow to react to reality, but then once they do, they tend to overcorrect.
Yes, and that's what's going to happen.
So you're
100%.
right. That crash is coming and it's going to be
epic.
It's going to be devastating to a lot of, I mean, look, when you really think about who's invested in the stock market, about 80% of the stock market is owned by the top 10%. Of
which, fuck them.
This country, okay? But that doesn't erase the fact that a lot of working class Americans have the entirety of their retirement savings.
Which is stupid. Get it? Like
in 401ks or IRAs.
Yeah, it's almost like we shouldn't have that tied to the stock market anymore.
Stock market crashes. These people who might be getting ready to retire are gonna suffer significantly. So I'm so angry about this whole situation. The fact that we are in a war that we should have never been in to begin with.
Oh, just wait until Anna starts getting like the need for medical procedures and starts realizing how boned we really are as millennials in this. It's not even. Not nearly as bad as as it could be.
Trump was able to accomplish, the objectives that he had outlined in the beginning of the war. Those are objectives on behalf of Israel. Those aren't objectives that benefit the United States in any way, shape, or form.
We're gonna have to have like instead of like Social Security, like some form of UBI. Like we're gonna have to.
We're
at least for people over the age of 60.
Carrying the cost, we're carrying the burdens, we're suffering the deaths and
I'm talking about like my age demographic. So that's in about 20 years. God damn, that's in 20 years. Oh man. Oh no. Oh, I'm playing the back nine, folks. Oh no.
Losses.
Oh no.
Whereas Israel gets to bomb from afar and get us to do their dirty work for them as they're expanding their borders into southern Lebanon.
Yeah, so last two things here. I asked a couple friends who invest on a way bigger scale on Wall Street, right? And I said, what the hell's going on here? Because these markets don't make any sense. And they said, the problem, Cenk, is liquidity. What does that mean? The wealthy now have so much cash, they literally don't know where to put it. They're like, what are we supposed to do? Withdraw all of our money from the stock market and put it into gold or cash? Instead of no. We've been making so much money every year from the stock market. We just can't.
Oh, they could just give it back. We the nice part, like we could give it, or they could give it back through dividends or something like that. I don't know. Like, just don't call it taxing. Call it, providing. What is it?
Quit that
word. Oh fuck! I'm having a brain fart.
Right. So, but when Anna's right, when you have the markets fluctuate,
what's it called?
Like crazy, the pendulum swings wildly. That's why when Warren Buffett said,
right?
"Hey, how did I make this fortune? I bought low and sold high," and everybody thinks, "Well, why doesn't everybody do that?" That's like got to be the easiest thing in the world because they're monkeys on Wall Street.
So apparently, Trump is.
Yep. Ground news. Man.
So when people are buying, they all buy like monkeys and they all go right over the cliff. And when people are selling, they all sell like monkeys, right?
Yep.
And that's why we have these giant crashes like the Great Depression in 29, like the 2008 crash, like the 2000 internet bubble. And now we're about to have another giant crash, in my opinion. Okay, don't ever invest based on what I say on the show. Make up your own decision. Timing is absolutely critical. I wouldn't listen to anyone on air about when or how to invest.
I'm gonna buy like 50 pounds. People are starting to fucking panic buy. I've noticed.
Okay, now but on a macro scale here, what's going to happen? That's my sense is that they're going to overreact. So once the crash happens, it's going to be spectacular because all the rich people are going to think, I got to get my money out of there, and then I'll buy low once the market completely crashes. Hurry up, get out of there, right? And they'll get out before any of you do, and your 401ks will be obliterated. Yeah. And I'll add one last cherry on top prediction.
And it's the same people that ruined the economy in 2008. Like these people are still getting rewarded for that.
And then the people in power will start talking about bailouts for the wealthy.
Yep, they already kind of have.
100%. Oh my God, it makes me so angry. Why? Why are you making me so angry? It's so
holy shit, that is a fucking strong ass chair.
True. It's so true, everybody. They always do that.
They're gonna do that in this case too. And they're gonna wanna bail out some of the Israel first guys who pushed us into this war in the first place.
No.
Okay.
No mercy.
They're going to.
Yeah, no. Yep. Oh my God.
I like how we're all just kind of sitting in the reality of this, just like, yeah. I can't afford groceries.
Bill Ackman comes around looking for money.
What are we doing?
Money. Hey, you made a list, Bill, right? Of the college students who weren't sufficiently kissing.
See the CoffeeZilla video about Goliath, speaking of 401k. No, I should probably check that out.
Israel's ass, and you promised to destroy their careers and their lives? Good news, we also have a list, okay? So, and our list can't do anything. We don't have any power. You're the billionaire, we don't have anything. But if you come asking us, the taxpayers, for money, then you're on the list. And I'll do anything to make sure Bill Ackman and his buddies don't get bailed out after they slaughtered our economy.
I don't know. Are you having that moment, Chuck, where you're just like, God damn it? Like, I have this when I watch these specific clips, and like that's all I watch anymore. I haven't caught a live in years. Where I kind of have that, like, I lament, like, why did they have to do this? Why did they have to make that turn? Like, God. They actually, like, when they're good, they're very good. And that's what really sucks. And that's why it hurts. But we all know why they suck, you know? When it comes down to it, Cenk and Anna, like, I have a feeling if they could, like, have the money from CNN, like CNN anchors and all like that production, all of it, they're not that different. That's... we talked a little bit about this on, actually it was last week, about the iron law of oligarchy, where it's kind of the same thing where it's like at some point, even with his best intentions and like his politics, shifted. Because you have to remember this about Cenk too, is that he started off as a right winger. So like when he shifted to the like his super progressive self, yeah, it wasn't like out of the realm of possibility that he could, change his politics again. I just hate how like they did become like an authority in that space, not this space, but that space, Anyway, shifted to the militant left. I don't know, man. I think that no doubt they change again. The thing is, I don't really care. Good coverage is good coverage is how I'm gonna just break it. I don't need people to like be these idols or whatever the fuck. Like if you guys do like, because I don't do that with Majority Report either. Like I enjoy the Majority Report. I watch it as much as I can, but I don't agree with everything they say. I don't like, that's just how it is, man. I just enjoy certain parts of it but Majority Report, it's not like I'm not enjoying the live anymore. Whereas TYT, yeah, you can't just ignore like Anna's blatantly, or blatant shift. It is, whoo boy. But I kind of, like I've been saying, like it doesn't negate like the good coverage. So that's where that story comes in, and specifically their stuff on Israel. Like I'm definitely, yeah. I'm okay with people being flexible. He's straddling the centrism between authoritarian right and left. He lives in that pipeline. I just wish he would be honest. Yeah, no, that's a good take. If he was just more honest, but some of it is, I'm not sure. I don't think it's as calculated as we think. Sometimes I think it is just he kind of, shifts with the wind, and also, yeah, he probably like. You've seen it with Tucker. He's made friends in different spaces. The whole have a beer with him kind of thing. Yeah. It is it's disappointing to see what Cenk and Anna have become. Yeah. It is, but like I said, it wasn't outside the realm of possibility. Like when I was watching TYT, I was actually more shocked that like Cenk didn't revert more to his like right wing talking points from like the early days of TYT. I mean, shit, dude. TYT is one of like the oldest political programs I think I was watching. That and funny enough, Majority Report back when they were on Air America, because they used to simulcast Air America and TYT on Sirius XM for a little bit. So that was what I would listen to, and then that station would turn to Coast to Coast for a little bit. So you got George Norrie and Art Bell, and then you had Rory James, I think her name was, where she sounded like Amy Goodman from Democracy Now, but it was like if Amy Goodman was like an Alex Jones type conspiracy theorist. She was the first radio show I ever called into. But yeah. I don't know where I was going with that point. Just story time, I guess. They're running a business, making a living. I mean, yeah. They got bills to pay. They help bring this podcast politics culture, so we can't be surprised. Well, yeah, and that's kind of, I guess, where I was going with it. It was also recognizing, at least where there is merit to like, hey, recognizing without them, the space probably would not be as big as it is. And honestly, a lot of leftists probably wouldn't have as much exposure and popularity. Weird to think that, but it's true. But hey, we don't have to constantly lament. Like I said, I don't do that because I don't tie my ability to watch them to that as much, or like the clips, I should say, and like agreeing with them on the like certain topics, specifically like the Piers Morgan appearances. I don't know, man. Like every time I watch those, I do end up going like, there it is. But I just realized this. Anna Kasparian has never actually like ceded territory on like trans rights with Piers Morgan, and he has tried to lock her into that. So that makes me wonder. It's like, did she shift, or is the grift that strong where she's just pretending like, nah, what do you mean? I've always been an ally. Oh God. Recognize the game and the source so you can better research and inform yourself. Exactly. Well, it's the same reason that I watch CNN and I watch like MS Now. Like I actually have a MS Now clip. I'm pulling up right now. I take it for what it is. It's information, and you can just deduce what's actually going on past the talking heads aspect. Because realistically, even with me, like you have to be able to take the information and kind of make of it what you will. That's kind of what collecting information and just learning about news is, right? Although, I mean, because I don't want to be mean about this. I almost said like spoon fed. Like I don't want to be spoon fed the news or like spoon fed my opinions. I've never looked for that. That's again why I could say like with Majority Report, where I agree with like 90% of the stuff that they say, but there's the occasion where I'll just be like, nah. Same with Hassan. And it's not like I'm coming at it from a even centrist perspective. There's just sometimes where I'm like, nah, it's not the way to handle that. But okay. Want to know what your favorite when your favorite show is on? Type. Oh, we got a Nightbot now? Oh. Huh. I just learned something. Is that ours? Or is that somebody trolling? Which that would be kind of, I hate to admit, a little bit of a funny troll where it's just like, wait, I have a Nightbot now? You miss Ron Paul? I don't know, man. That guy, I was talking to my buddy. He was on PEPAGANDA, primetime PEPAGANDA, like 2 weeks ago. And he was bringing up how Ron Paul really got him involved, like more involved in politics. And he kind of felt like, there was a third option finally. And, Ron Paul was pretty good at like breaking people from like the party veneer. And honestly, I think without Ron Paul, we wouldn't have had as much of a like grassroots interest in like Bernie Sanders, but his policies aren't great. And he's, he gets a little into his, we can't have no regulations. I remember that one where he's just like, we need to get rid of all these regulations and just start from scratch. I'm like, no, yo, are you telling me like when somebody wants to do that with the FDA immediately, I'm like, nope. Like I like to eat at restaurants. I want standards, I don't want there to just be like a world where, oh, there's a mouse on the in your kitchen. Cool. Hello, health department. The number you're trying to reach has been disconnected. Man, I miss my soundboard. See, I would have had that. Actually, no, I wouldn't have. How many times have I brought up the frickin' that number or that reference? God damn it. Sorry, guys. I went to go look for that on a soundboard, and it ruined everything I just had set up. Here we go. There we go. Okay. If Ron Paul got elected, we would have just time skipped to here. I don't know. I do kind of have like this weird feeling that there's... Yes, I think we would have ended up in the same place because the way I wanted to break that would have been it would have sounded a little more conspiracy theory ish. All right, so here, you see what I'm about to do? I'm gonna hit this like button. You should do the same. And then we're going to learn more about major food companies warn that produce costs could go up even higher than they already are. Dude, I just had this moment where just for like a small thing of blueberries, it was almost $15. I freaked the fuck out. I was just like, holy shit. Then I saw some that were on sale for $7. Like, holy crap, man.
I want to bring in MS Now's Laura Hafele and veteran financial journalist and MS Now business analyst, Ron Insana. So, Ron, higher gas prices, higher fertilizer prices. We're not talking about luxuries here. We're talking about
Why does he look like he belongs in like a Hanna-Barbera cartoon?
putting food on the table. Just how bad could this get?
Well, with respect to food prices, it's hard to know exactly where it goes, Chris, because it's obviously the cost of transportation pushes up the cost of food that's delivered to grocery stores. And then there's the fertilizer issue in the planting season that we're going through right now that's forcing some farmers to cut back on the amount of plant.
Frozen ones from Argentina are like $4.
They're doing so down.
Yeah, I bought some frozen strawberries over fresh.
The road, we could see something of a supply shock, although albeit a small one here in the United States, to the amount of grains and other grown foods that are available. And in addition to that,
red meat costs are insane.
You just got a broad-based now move
pound of burger meat, fucking $8
in inflation. The energy price shock, if you will likely lead to $5 gasoline, irrespective of what the energy secretary had to say. We probably see that in the short run. And then that also bleeds over into other categories of goods, airline prices and so on and so forth. And so you're seeing this really become a more broad-based problem. Tomorrow, we're going to get a consumer price report. Wednesday, we'll get a wholesale inflation read. Friday, we have Kevin Warsh likely taking over Jay Powell as chair of the Fed. He wants to lower interest rates. This is not exactly the environment in which that can happen.
And just last hour, Ron, the president said he wants to pause the federal gas tax and was asked about exactly that in the Oval Office. Here's what he said.
Yeah, 18 cents. Yay.
How long are you
Huge
going
difference.
to suspend that tax for?
Till it's appropriate, till
Mr.
it's
President, how soon?
it's a small percentage, but it's still money.
How much of an impact could that have, Ron?
I believe it's about 18 cents per gallon nationally. So it's a modest impact. Obviously it's some help, but if you're going over $5, we'd be talking about record gasoline prices. Even if they were at $4.80, they'd still be flirting with record levels. And
that's the reason. It's because the national average is about to surpass where Biden was. So that's where he's just like, what if I suspend the gas tax? Would it be cheaper than it was under Biden still?
As we've heard from,
we can't give them that win.
Some reports here on MS, individuals are beginning to make choices between how much they fill up their tank and what they buy at the grocery store and what else they pay for or can pay for, particularly among middle and lower income families. So yeah, you can roll the tax back, for a period of time. But the president also said today that the ceasefire with Iran is on life support. So the longer this persists, the head of Saudi Aramco, one of the biggest oil companies in the world, said that the oil market might not get right until 2027 if this goes on even for just a couple more weeks.
Wow. And Laura, typically people in large...
To be fair, you guys have been saying that since a few weeks ago. So I don't know if I can trust that analysis anymore.
Larger cities
I'm starting to think that if the war ended, then it would correct pretty fucking quickly.
Have at least some cheaper
that these worst case scenarios aren't actual reality.
Public transportation options. But you're in New York, where it's going to cost more just to take the ferry. What's going on?
Yeah, almost nothing is cheap in New York, but as oil barrel prices continue to rise, so do diesel prices, and that's exactly what New York waterway ferries run on. They tell me that since January, their cost for fuel has gone up 80%, Chris. So right now they're passing a 5.5% surcharge down to ticket holders to make up for those costs. And there's a lot of frustration with commuters, and that's in part because of what you just mentioned. They don't have a lot of choice in the New York, New Jersey area. They have to commute to work, whether that's
that's why they want
the
COVID 2.0 thing with the hantavirus,
driving,
which after yesterday, like what we were watching, no.
Through the tunnels or over.
We were right. It's a big nothing burger.
Over the bridges, the ferry actually one of the less expensive options, and now the price has gone up. It's adding insult to injury in one of the most expensive regions in the country, with cost of living, like rental prices, housing prices, grocery prices, all up.
Yeah, but somehow that's Mom Donnie's fault. See, this is where I hate this shit.
And now this, take a listen.
I think it's not temporary. Have you ever seen a price go down? Martinis are $34. I'm ever going to get a $20 martini again? I don't think so. And I don't think my price is going down for the ferry either. It's like the price is going to go up of things, and I just have to figure out how to do better, how to make more money and do good for my family.
top of mind for New Yorkers, getting to work
God,
on time.
the amount of people that are just in denial that they could ever end up homeless tomorrow.
And the price of a
It's fucking scary.
martini.
This is the benefit of living the way that we do. And I'm assuming that we're all pretty similar, where it's just like, oh no, we're well aware of the floor dropping out. We're always looking for the trap door.
Look, this might sound
These idiots aren't even aware it's there.
like it's just a local
Big
issue.
Jerry?
It's
How you doing?
not. I reached out to San Francisco Bay Ferry, one of the most widely used ferry systems in the country. They're seeing the same issue. They're tackling a little bit differently. They're, instead of raising prices, they're going to reduce schedules so they don't use as much fuel. But just one more example of how widespread this issue is, Chris.
We love nothing more than an overcrowded ferry. Thank you for that, Laura Haythele. So, Ron, last week we reported.
Let the mask slip. Again, this Rocky and Bullwinkle looking motherfucker.
That credit card
I'm so
debt
sorry,
hit
man.
an all-time
I'm not pulling punches on any of these people.
high at the end of last year. But there are also now more people applying for new credit cards. Credit delinquency is rising. National credit scores are dropping. It seems to me, I'm no economist, as you well know, but there's a domino effect here. Even if prices did come down, if you're in delinquency, if you have a bad credit score, how long does it take you to get out of that hole?
Yeah, it's almost like that's kind of part of the plan. Like, dude, I just got my credit up and then it's starting to sink again because I've had to live off credit.
Well, even one late payment will show up on your, Equifax or TransUnion or other credit, reporting surveys.
Yeah, are we getting a freeze on that? Are they doing anything for us? The people,
and could last for years. And
is there? I mean, it's almost like there's an appetite for that. But how come nobody's fighting for us?
Knocks your credit score down several points, if not more.
Yeah.
And again, if those were to pile up over time, increase.
This fake fucking system that we already have to abide by.
Increasingly, your credit score plummets, and it makes it harder to obtain credit. It makes it harder to apply for a mortgage if indeed you're in the market for a house. So there's a domino effect here again, and it's largely middle income and lower income families. My colleague Steve Leisman over at CNBC was suggesting we're getting more and more evidence of the K-shaped economy becoming even more K-shaped. If you're in the top 10% of all wage earners, you're doing fine, you're absorbing these costs. But if you're in middle and lower income groups, it becomes increasingly difficult. And what you're doing is using credit cards to stretch your income in order to make payments on the things that you need on a day-to-day basis. And that becomes problematic if your wages are not going up. And we've just seen in the latest employment report that wages have begun to fall below the inflation rate, which makes it even more of a struggle for the average individual.
The individual. The way that they dehumanize us in all their reporting, man. It's really, it is so frustrating. And they're buying your data to see where they can squeeze you. Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, dude, everything sucks. I had a title on my stream. Jeez, I can't get that out. Where I just said everything sucks. And it's not just my personal attitude about thinking this. Like, everything sucks. There isn't a bright, shining light where we're going to be saved by anything because they've taken all the safeguards away. They're constantly doing more to make us feel like there is no way out of any of this financially, politically. Like, they just want to make everybody fucking miserable. And the saddest part is, you have a bunch of people that are going to get hurt by this, that are wearing red hats, that are waving his stupid fucking flag still. Like, I don't know, man. There are these moments where I really do kind of feel like, okay, like all I can do is just watch, I guess. I mean, I feel like the most pain for you guys out there that have families. Like, you guys are screwed. I'm not trying to be mean here, but it's true. Like, especially if you just had kids recently, like, no, like I have to be honest. Like, you're likely not going to be able to retire. Even if your parents die, you're going to get the inheritance tax is still a thing. And trust me, they didn't get rid of it for our demographic. So good luck with that. Just in general, everything, it sucks. And what we need is enough people, I guess, feeling the pain that they finally kind of break this shit. Where like this is why I keep bringing up the fact that the key voting demographic that we need to be kind of geared towards are non-voters, and you need to get them mobilized in a way that the Democrats really can't do. Like, this is my theory. Use the Democratic Party and just say, hey, and we MAGA this shit. I've said this for a while, where like the way that the Tea Party became MAGA and took over the GOP, literally we got to do the same thing. But it's not that radical to think like, hey guys, hey, everything sucks. The rich people are fucking us. The Epstein class is completely fucking us. Like, hey, the Epstein stuff didn't mobilize us, but I know that the high gas prices, not being able to afford food, and then on top of that, we're going to start seeing shortages. Which, again, media don't want to talk about that yet. They'll talk about it when it's right in front of us, because everybody's just going to be like, "Oh my God, did you see the shortages at the gas station?" We're already starting to see it here in Chicago, man. I'm fine right now, by the way. No, I'm just saying. Like, well, yeah, now. I hear that a lot from some people where I'm like, okay. And I'm not trying to be like mean either, but it's just like, just be prepared, man. It's gonna hit, and it's gonna hit hard. And I'm not trying to I'm not really that kind of doomer to get me to this point where I'm like, it's coming. I think that kind of I try to not doomer, so you guys do kind of like have a little bit of an alarm system going off here, where it's just like, oh shit, even Pep is starting to say that it's like really bad. This is also one of those situations where I want to be wrong. Like, I really wanted to be wrong about Trump, man. Like, I know too many people that immediately wanted him to fail. Like, my mom was kind of that way. My mom, when he got elected again, she's like, I can't wait for him to fuck this up. I'm like, I can. He won. We're so fucked. Like, if he fucks this up, then we're screwed. I'm like, this is the problem with having that asshole in charge. But, at least we can have the one good part of that is where, yeah, we can constantly remind all of our neighbors, whether they be MAGA, centrist, Democrats, that, yeah, everything sucks. Everything's not good. And they need to do something about that. Otherwise, yeah, something will probably be done about it. Whether, actually, electorally, I will say that. But this is where we as leftists, we really got to do something about our messaging and coalition building. Like, I think that most PSL, DSA, they need to just stop. We need to figure that out. We just need, I don't know, man. We need to fucking put our differences aside with certain things and just work together to beat this and to bring actual substantive change to people's lives. And unfortunately, I always see where it does become a fight about well, we need this revolution tomorrow. We need to institute a communist utopia now. And it's just, yeah, even I want that. See, this is where I constantly have to reiterate, yes, that would be awesome. I consider myself a little more practical, and just maybe it's because I feel older and I've had a lot happen, where I'm just I don't see that happening. It hasn't really worked out that way in all of the history of man. I constantly go back to how the French Revolution worked, but then it didn't, because they're living in the same fucking system. I don't know. Nothing significantly really changed outside of the bourgeois class couldn't step on their necks quite as hard. But it is kind of Sam Cedar has said this about how the established, once they won and they were the anti-establishment at that point, then they just became the establishment. They started stepping on people's necks, and they started doing the thing where they just had to keep that status quo, because they realized, yeah, you know what? Someone's got to do it. Someone's got to be in charge. Might as well be us. And to be in charge, that requires some money and funding. And, I kind of like my life. You won't believe these 10 tips to survive economical collapse. Wait, I feel like we should be studying how people made it through the 80s and 90s, Russia falling apart, or 1930s American Depression era economy survival. Yeah, no, I do think you're right about that. You know what? That might be a special edition stream coming up where we do like a little pep learns or oh god, cringe. But yeah, you guys will learn about that stuff with me because I will be learning about it freshly too. We're literally living the grapes of wrath. California doesn't have anyone to pick peaches now, so Del Monte is going under, so they shut it down. Well, it's also, let's be real, people aren't really eating peaches. It's not like this is a heavy peach economy. Pepucation. Hey, what up, Uni? Coming in with a good idea. Appreciate that. Everybody say hello to my wife, Uni Moogle, in chat. It's always good to see her here. Also, cheers. Let's get. We're gonna continue with the. I mean, we're doing a pepucation now, right? Like we're learning about some economic stuff, but yeah, I feel like the main takeaway from what I'm trying to say here is we really need to fucking calm down and we got to try and bring some of these older people in. That's why I brought up the fact that like I see the target demographic here being like, the fucking lib teacher where, and you don't need them to agree with us on all of it, guys. That's our biggest thing. And then we also can't do this thing where it's like, yeah, but they were unknowingly like part of the problem at this part and this part and this part. It's just like, okay. Oh man. Listen, I voted for some pretty like egregious shitheads. Like I've admitted it, where I was trying to do what my mom taught me, where she told me not to vote down ballot. She's like, be an independent thinker. So when I saw this guy running for the House, he kept saying no new taxes and I will lower your taxes. And that was honestly, that was smart campaigning, where it was just like, no, it's not just gonna like, I'm not gonna blanket just say no new taxes. It's like, no, we need to lower my district's taxes. And I was like, yeah, he's right. And then the first thing he did was he voted on a bill to raise the federal tax rate. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Yeah, I was really pissed about that. But that's where like I just have to say, yeah, I had a bad vote, so that's where I'm also saying single Trump voters, if they voted for Trump just this last election, I say, yeah, like let them in. Just say you made a mistake. Do you admit you made a mistake? Like there should at least be that cost of entry where it's just like you're not feeling great about your vote, right? Cool. But we also don't need to vote shame. Like I don't know, man. This is a 5-alarm fire. And this is like one of those situations I feel like where we're kind of like taking tickets during while the entire building's coming down and we're just like, oh, you don't have the right ticket. Sorry, you got to go back. It's like, but it's burning down. It's like, no, wrong ticket. I can't play that game. Now, does that mean that I'm going to be a little bit more angry and vitriolic? There we go. Against like MAGA? Yeah. Like I'm saving my anger for the people that truly deserve it. Like, yes, the Democrats fucking suck and are ineffectual, but you know what? Because they suck and are ineffectual, that's where it should be very easy for us to do this. But I think that we get in our own way a lot of times. But that's a good analogy. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because I really do feel that's where we're at right now, man. And I've been feeling it. Like I think that I've kind of, damn it. All right. Sorry, guys. My screen just crashed. I'm still live, right? Okay. Okay, my driver is updated, and I was worried that something like this would happen. Here, I got to restart YouTube. Give me a second. Damn it. All right. Restore. There we go. Okay. Okay, yeah, it plays. Good. Whew. Yeah, I tried to fix a problem that I've been having over on my last stream, and yeah. In trying to fix that problem, I think I caused another one. It's always cascading, isn't it? I may take one of those foraging classes. I mean, listen, learning how to grow your own food, especially if you live in a 4-season community, like, fuck yeah, like, definitely look into doing that. But I don't know, man. For as many times I've had the conversation about like wanting to raise chickens and how it's like, oh, I got a property and technically blah blah blah. If you get this permit and this permit, it's like and then like I had a friend do this, and then he had his chickens for all of like a year, and then he finally was just like, nah, dude, they're a lot of fucking work. It's like, yeah, they are. That's like it's kind of part of it. They're not just like, egg producers. And you do actually have to like, have a routine with them. So it also kind of made me sad because it made me think like he's a good person who loves animals, but he did mistreat these chickens by accident, just by like neglect. And that's where it is like, oh shit, do you know how many like people bought chickens and those chickens probably ain't in a great situation? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Depressing to think about, but you need a half an acre. You need a half acre? Jeez. I mean, he has that, but I didn't know that that's what it required. I thought because he had it fenced off in a way that I was like, huh. I mean, he's probably wrong about it because he was like, yeah, dude, theoretically, you could have this on your property. I was like, I don't know about that. My neighbor's permit would not be fucking very happy about that. Plus, I haven't heard a single rooster in all of Cook County. So that would be fucking wild, though, where it's just like you got the morning, starting. You got the sun setting right behind, over the lake, and you got the the skyline right there, and then all of a sudden, you know what? Yeah, that would be kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. And then just a bunch of pissed off. Hey, shut that fucking rooster up! What the fuck? Hey, I'm trying to sleep. Raise my fucking my rooster on relish and hot dogs. Just to make sure that he has a little bit of the attitude, I'm pretty sure that's where we get our attitudes from. Fucking mystery meat and a whole bunch of pickled relish. Alrighty, come on, work. Sorry, I am trying to buy time here, unsuccessfully too. Oh, jeez. Okay. Whatever I did, I have got to unfuck this when I am off stream. All right, cool. So. Oh, that's a freeze face. Did you take Economics 101? Panel reacts to admin's tone-deaf messaging on economy. Thank God. It's over. Yeah, like, God, so many reports of this with Biden. It was almost every other fucking report. Just, oh, are the Democrats tone-deaf? Are they not listening to their base?
Joining us, MS Now contributor, managing editor of The Bulwark, Sam Stein, MS Now political analyst and former Undersecretary of State for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs, Rick Stengel, and co-founder and director of economic policy at Veda Partners, Henrietta Trace. Henrietta, let's talk about credit cards.
My boyfriend lives in the city, and even he has chickens, goats, cows, and horses within sight of his backyard. That is...
Yeah, let's start with cards. The way to think about this, I think that's the easiest to understand, is that the average family spends $310 a week on groceries. That's how much more it now costs you to fill up your truck or your car.
Yeah.
That's because of the war. So now you're out a whole week's worth of groceries. And that's why people are turning to credit cards. Savings rates are at 3-year lows. People are the most negative and pessimistic about their job prospects, their independent economic viability, as they have been since World War II. So people going to get credit cards.
Finally, I mean, it's nice to hear this from at least some news reporting.
Is an indicator of a very anxious nation that's run through all of its savings and does not
You go to
have
work,
the money
you go
it's
home.
costing to get through this war. And this is not a one-time event. This is every single week. Every time that you go to fill up, every time you go to get groceries, and it will
you
continue
get
to cascade. If you go
10 miles per gallon, you need a fucking Toyota, my guy.
to the doctor's office, your medical imaging costs more. If you need to get a new phone, the semiconductors cost more. All the fertilizer that are growing your food costs more. Every single piece of this continues to compound. And I think more problematic is the White House now signaling that they want to pass a gas tax suspension, which means they think prices are going to rise from here. Those are one-time off bets, and it's compounding.
Yeah.
Well, explain how the gas tax suspension is going to work.
So we have an
Gonna work.
18.4. Yeah.
Jesus.
We have an 18.4 cent gas tax, 24.4 cents for diesel. And the idea is you suspend the gas tax for maybe 90 days. That's what a couple of states around the country have done, Kentucky, Georgia, and a few others. And the idea is that you get that 18 cents shaved off the top of your gas. So if you're buying gas at $4.55, 56 cents, this will save you 18 cents on every gallon.
This is the plan, guys, because they're going to use this at the back end of the midterms here, where it's like, oh, the blue states kept their gas high.
That's for 90 days. So first, right off the
Which realistically, shape up. I don't care. Like at this point, as a Chicagoan, I get it. Our roads and bridges need to be fixed, but fucking A, man.
I know.
Like if you're, that's political suicide right now.
That means that I think the straight and
Hey, what up, Dennis?
gas prices are going to be high for another 90 days. And the idea is that this is a one-time thing, but it's going to raid all of the highway trust fund, all the potholes and bridges and road repairs that we see. It's a huge compounding problem. It's very expensive, about $176 billion.
Which ironically is going to end up costing people more, because then you're going to hit a pothole and you need tires.
If I'm not mistaken.
Tires are more expensive because of the oil prices.
And those are the figures that we're going to be dealing with. So the president is lending some support to this idea now, but there's a very long way to go. And again, it's 18 cents.
Oh, he needs Congress to get on board with it as well. I know I quoted Kevin Hassett. Let me just play Kevin Hassett. I think it's worth listening to him talk about it directly.
The consumer is really, really firing on all cylinders, just like the corporate sector you're seeing in the earnings reports. And they're doing that.
This guy needs like literal fire behind him all the time.
Because they have so much.
He's the perfect embodiment of like this. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
More money in their pockets. In fact, I had the head of one of the big 5 banks in my office yesterday going through the credit card data. And just as Secretary Bessent said, credit card spending is through the roof. They're spending more on gasoline, but they're spending more on everything else, too.
No, that's not good. That means that we're spending more on everything else. Yeah, that means everything costs more, dickhead.
Sam, it reminds me of the Scott Bessent line where he was talking about buying your 10th, 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th home. What's up with this White House?
What's up with this White House? What's up? It's almost like they're completely out of touch. It's almost like they're a bunch of swamp monsters that are just completely running everything.
A little tone deaf, to say the least. I thought I would rank the Bessent one a little bit even more tone deaf. Shaving off that 11th home as a way to, prepare for the costs going up is something that only a select few of us can consider. But Kevin Hassett, that's he does this time and again. He goes out there on TV and he paints this incredibly rosy but also incredibly detached picture of where the economy is. And he does it because he knows that someone is watching him on TV, and that person is Donald Trump. And yes, credit card spending is going up, but as we've just outlined, it's going up for the wrong reasons. Gas is more expensive, cost of goods is more expensive, people have to pay for essential services, and so they're putting it on credit. That is not a sign of a healthy economy, it's a sign of a economy that is coming apart at the seams. And if in fact gas prices are not
Which Fox, if you listen to Fox News,
going to go down anytime soon.
Nope.
you can imagine that inflation is likely to get even worse because it is compounding. It goes into all these transportation costs. It goes into costs for a number of other goods as well. And so we are looking at a summer in which people are naturally going to be going on the road. People are going to be cooking out. You can see right there, ground beef. And the administration is looking for ways to chip at it. So there's two things that are happening here. One is they're painting an incredibly rosy picture with these types of cable news hits. And then secondarily is they're trying to find little ways to chip at the cost. So the gas tax holiday is one of them. But the other thing that's kind of an interesting tell is that Trump is considering getting rid of some of the tariffs on beef, which is an admission. We should note that the tariffs were, in fact, responsible for raising prices in the first place. So they're
I don't know if Trump actually does like the thing where he allows the Chinese electric cars into the market. Then yeah,
nipping around the edges, and we'll see if it does any good. I think in the aggregate, it's only going to be a little bit of relief, and the bigger picture problems.
Although electricity prices are insane,
persist.
Rick, why
energy
just,
prices in general are insane. Fuck.
Roll back all the tariffs.
Well, you know, the truth is every president inherits his economy from his predecessor. The economy that Trump inherited was an economy where inflation was going down, GDP was growing up. If he had just decided to I'm just going to start taking credit for this a few months in, would have looked good. What did he do? He shot himself in the foot with tariffs. He had major kind of terrible move in invading Iran, increasing oil prices, which has a multiplier effect on everything else. So he has single-handedly kind of destroyed a positive economy that he inherited. That he could have just actually
finally fucking somebody saying it out loud.
You know,
clear and concise.
Taking credit for it, and people would have been pretty happy.
I had one of those weird burps.
It's not a good situation. I mean, the other thing we didn't mention is that the national debt now is as high as it's been ever as a percentage of GDP since World War II, which is it's 100% of GDP over multiple $1 trillion. So that also has an inflationary effect. All of these things have inflationary effects. And listening to, that cabinet member, it's like, did you take Economics 101? Credit card debt has an inflationary effect on every other aspect of the economy.
Yeah, and the APR on credit cards is exorbitant. So if you miss one payment, you're paying a lot more for your bag of oranges than you would have been paying if you just were able to use your debit card or your ground beef. Sam, I thought Republicans were the ones that wanted to get a handle on the national debt.
Well, they do when there's a Democratic president, and that's time and time again what we see. So
yeah, maybe you should stop listening to them.
During the Tea Party wave 2010, this was the rallying cry. And then subsequently they get into office, and during the Trump administration, debt went up. They don't cut back on spending. They do cut taxes. Those in combination drive up the debt. And look, I mean, there will be cuts here and there that they will propose. And I will give, I guess, if you're monomaniacally focused on that, you can say, well, they're cutting back on food stamps and Medicaid and all the things. But they did just embrace a $1.5 trillion defense budget, which is an exorbitant amount of money, greater than, I think it was like something like the next 8 countries combined in terms of their defense budget. So, it's selective spending cuts, constant call for tax cuts. And so the calls for deficit reduction,
which doesn't work. If the deficit keeps building, where in the fuck are we paying this money? That's right. They're going to increase taxes. I said this yesterday.
Reduction are pretty much basically when a Democrat is president.
Yeah, and they're going to do it when, yes, they are. They're going to do it when the Democrats win.
Where does this money come from?
Thank you for fucking asking.
Well, and by the way, if you're letting go of taxes on gasoline, on beef, you're getting less money
so
from
where
taxes.
does the money come from?
Yeah,
part of it is why the debt is at a higher level than it's ever been. I mean, the deficit that Trump is creating is going to be.
Why is he humming? Like, what's going on here? Who's he covering up for?
Deficit of any.
What the fuck? Now I'm in conspiracy mode. Like, what are you? Just answer the damn question. Where's the money coming from?
President ever. It's deficit spending. You're not getting the tax revenue. You're spending more than you're taking in.
So debt, just debt. That's it.
Spending $1.50 for every dollar they're taking in.
And where does that fall? It's almost like, I don't know. There's a lot of people that look like Mitch McConnell, and I hate to do this, but it's the boomer economy where it's just like, oh yeah, well. If it sucks, I'm probably not going to be around anyway to really not enjoy it. So whatever. All right, here's the big one. This one I brought up just for this show. All right. 2026 food shortage warning. Are you ready? Here's the action plan.
Insecurity. So we need to address this. I think that's important.
Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about the biggest drivers. Number one is geopolitical tensions. And that surprised me because there's no conflict going on in the world. Is there really?
Whatever.
Actually, we all
Where
know
is
there
there
is.
not conflict?
Yeah, we know there is. And the most recent, of course, is the Strait of Hormuz. And that's causing a variety of impacts to us.
By the way, I don't know these people's politics. It's a prepper channel, so there's a good chance that they might be kind of crazy.
So these tensions are there, and they'll always be there to some extent. But number two is our fertilizer cost and supply. So this is really impacting, especially the farmers. The cost of fertilizer is up. That means they generally can apply less fertilizer and still be okay financially. So we're going to have decreased harvest and the prices are going to go up. One of the big ones that I am tied into directly is climate extremes. And this is the U.S. drought monitor that's showing right now what the drought situation is. And
oh man, for once we're actually not going to get hit.
Right now, 60% of the contiguous 48 states is in some degree of drought. And a lot of it's in severe drought, extreme drought, exceptional drought. And so there is a lot of drought, probably the most in many years that we've seen in our country. So that is a huge factor. And I was at a board meeting the other night and listening to some of the farmers talk. One was a supplier of hay and one was a user of hay. And the user was asking the guy that trucks hay all over the United States, said, you know, what's the hay situation and should we be concerned? And my other friend said, yeah, we should be very concerned because there's a lot of areas around us where they're only going to get one cutting of hay where they normally get 3 or maybe even 4 cuttings of hay. So the hay is going to be very short this year, and getting that is got a lot of people just.
I was just trying to get your attention.
A little bit concerned. So, and then of course there's always economic and trade pressures, tariffs, all kinds of things.
I feel like I'm doing that thing where it's like we're supposed to be listening to like teacher, and I'm just like
things like that. So there's a lot of drivers out there that are creating this insecurity in our food supply. So understanding that just helps us kind of put it in perspective.
So what does that mean to us? The area of concern. I don't think that means that we're going to show up at the grocery store and there will be nothing.
No.
I think it means increased prices, intermittent shortages, maybe some lower quality, or maybe you're not going to be able to find things that you normally would be able to find, but there still should be food there. So I think that's a little bit comforting. Of course, always we want to talk about, well, what can we do? We need to be calm because we're prepared. Now, one of the things about being a prepper is that we don't put additional pressure on the system. So what we know right now is the system is being taxed. Now's not the time to buy your 1,000 pounds of wheat. Is that a good way to put it?
Sure. Yeah.
But look at your storage and see if there's something that you may need to top off on. We want to build a working pantry. This means that you might have to cook more from scratch, and that's okay. But do you have rice and beans, oats, all those basic things, maybe canned goods?
I'm not sure if you know this, Betty. I don't actually know her name. But yeah, some people got like jobs and shit that, you know, they can't always cook for themselves. Like that's just a reality. And a lot of people are about to get a second or third job to make sure that they can just, you know, continue to live and rent. Like this is this boomer shit that really pisses me off.
Freeze-dried goods are a really good thing. One of the things that's going to be in really short supply is beef. And so if you have a freeze dryer and you've been freeze drying the meats that you use, then it doesn't matter as much. But really those shelf stable things that you normally eat, don't stock up on them if you don't normally eat them. But I guess now would be a good time to kind of talk about.
Or, I mean, the other side of that is prepare to like kind of have a shift in your diet.
What it looks like will be in short supply. So according to the internet, corn, wheat, wheat and rice, and those will all.
There's a reason I have not hit the like on this video. I don't necessarily want these people popping up a lot.
Be due to the high fertilizer.
That doesn't mean that they're wrong about this one.
Costs, right? Forcing a shift to soybeans. Well, for us, we have that kind of thing in storage. So we're doing okay. Proteins like beef and eggs. Well, we don't have a lot of beef stored, right? And one of my friends was talking about how it was $20 at the grocery store for a pound of steak. That's way out of our price range. But we have our own chickens. So the fact that eggs are going up at the store, we'd only feed ours a little bit of grain. So the grain cost doesn't matter as much because we can let them.
That doesn't matter if bird flu does actually get out again.
Free range here. So we'll eat more eggs. We'll eat more of what we have available instead of knowing that beef is going to be in short supply and running out and buying everything that we can. And the beef is a huge issue because we have less cattle than we've had since 1950.
Oh, it's been for many, many years. Yes, it's the lowest level. So
and no hay to feed them.
You know, you look at those drivers and they're driving that. It's just kind of a natural consequence of what's going on.
So you need a working pantry. Make sure that you have food in there, and it's okay if it's just.
I feel judgment from
very basics. Number 2, we want to rotate our food storage. And I've actually been working on a video that we'll go through soon. But
the thing is, this was the main part that I wanted you guys to see, and they're not wrong.
It's all on
okay, this is good. And this is just good all around.
Popcorn and storing popcorn and how much it's so much less expensive to buy popcorn and not use the microwave or the bagged popcorn. And so we'll have a video coming out, but know how to rotate through your food storage and use what you actually have. You save so much money when you do that.
Yes.
Number 3 is to know your numbers. Like, how much food do you really need? And considering that this is a year or maybe 2-year short.
Now, this is how much food do you really need? Wow, that's going to be the next Republican fucking tagline.
That we're looking at right now. It would make sense to have a year or 2 of.
You know what? We were all a bunch of fatty McBaddies, so now maybe it's good that America skips a meal or 2.
Your very most basic grains, right? Typically, you're looking at 2,000 calories per person per day, or 400 pounds of grain for a year's supply. So if you had 400 pounds of a mixture of, say, wheat and rice and oat.
Yeah, but what, God forbid, mice get into your grain, then what?
Maybe pasta. Pasta is another good one. Then you have a year's supply. So sometimes that's a little bit easier to gauge it that way. But know your numbers, know how much you need, and then work toward getting that a little bit at a time. I mean, you don't have to, we've been doing this for years. So we're set, we're rotating. This is a lifestyle. If you're just starting out, just start by buying 1 for now and 1 for later. And next week, 1 for now and 1 for later. And pretty soon you're going to be able to build.
This is just common rural knowledge that was once common sense. Yep.
That pantry, and you'll have the foods that you need.
That's why, again, they might be weirdos, but they're not wrong about this information. I'm going to reiterate that.
Number 4, I love this one, and it's build your living resources.
You would expect that from Mama.
That is what we are all about. Because
don't call her that, please. Don't call her that, please. Just not in our presence ever. Ew.
Eggs, they're our living food source. Our garden and the things that we're able to produce here means that we have right out our back door a living supply of food. Now, can I produce all the calories that I need? I really can't, but I have those basics stored. I have the wheat and the rice and the calorically dense foods that can sustain us. And then you add all of the fresh things from the garden, and that would be great. And that was one of the things that the fresh produce would be in short supply because of extreme weather in Mexico and Europe and crop diseases. So you're looking at oranges, which is something I'm not growing yet. I have an orange tree in my greenhouse, which you really should go over to the Provident Gardener, our sister channel, where we talk all things gardening and learn all about that. So I have a little orange tree plant.
This is where I can't stand some of these idiots that don't understand how hard it is to actually produce this stuff.
But it will be a while before it can
Yeah, that's kind of part of the problem.
Produce. So that means that our family probably won't be having a lot of oranges. If they're in short supply and the price goes way up, we'll probably just put something else in its place, like all the beautiful fresh strawberries that I can grow year round in my greenhouse. On the shortage list, it also listed olive oil and chocolate. I'm so sad about the chocolate because
hard one.
Because I really haven't been able to replenish my supply because chocolate is like double the price that it was when I originally stocked up.
And we also have to look at the rate that she goes through it. So
that's not nice.
That just, between those two, it's tragic.
And so maybe it's time to break my addiction. I don't know. But if chocolate is something that you need, now is a good time to.
Usually, I mean, I'd be like, oh, there's something about this couple that really, I don't know. It's off-putting.
Go out and get it because that one's really important. And then canned goods are.
Am I broken? I think I might be broken. I think that I'm supposed to see this and be like, oh, they're so loving, and like this is a cute little joke about his.
Actually going to be affected because of the tariffs on aluminum. So think about that. And as far as spices go, cumin and black pepper. We use a lot of cumin. So
yeah, that's a problem. That's a fucking problem.
Knowing that,
don't touch my fucking Tony Chachere's, baby.
I will
That's not no.
Probably go out and get an extra container of cumin. Am I going to buy 20 of them?
Oh, hey, less pepper gas though.
No, but I'll get an extra one.
Oh, wait, that's a delusion. No, they'll make sure to have all that for.
Because we cook a lot of beans
toys.
and cumin and black pepper, both are spices that we use all the time.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they actually like each other. There's something about them where I'm just like.
So back to building our living food sources. This is just so important. If you have the ability.
I just want to know, like, can they do an entire video of what they failed at? Because that's something I hate about these gardening channels is where they'll always show you the project starts, and like there's so many that you're just like, so how'd that go? That just kind of didn't turn into anything.
Ability to put
was it a failure? Because I would have liked to know how you failed and what I can do to make sure I don't do that.
Little pot anywhere and grow something in it.
Yeah.
Do it, even if it means that it's in your kitchen window and you're growing basil. Anything that you can grow yourself.
I agree with this. Like I actually do herbs in my kitchen window.
That means that.
But this is also part of the problem with limited sun in the winter.
You're not having to take any of the fuel for transportation because it's right outside your back door. You're not putting pressure on the supplies that other people need who can't grow it. I just can't.
So specifically like basil, right? Every year I grow a basil, literally like a giant like basil bush. And then I have one inside where I use the fresh basil. So anytime that I have to harvest, I chop it up, put it into a bag, and then freeze it. And then use it like for eggs and whatever the hell I
like grow your own food if at all possible. Grow whatever.
Yes, no, I agree with this.
Whatever you can.
And
don't overexert yourself and like try to grow. Like I'm watching my neighbor trying to grow lemon trees in Illinois. It's kind of funny without a greenhouse.
Recognize that there is an addiction problem here. If you start with one plant, for many people, it becomes a problem because they want more and more and more. I've lived with this, and I know this lady just wants more and more plants, and
it's so
I
true.
welcome this. The thing is, I do get that.
I welcome that addiction because it provides so much security for us, and the health and nutrition in those foods is just astounding. So much better than what you can get in the stores.
But then we also have the problem of we have a water shortage. We are in a severe drought, so we have to use water conservation methods for what we grow. And because of this crazy weather that we had, we have lost almost everything from our fruit trees, even our apples.
All right. High five. Respect.
Didn't survive this year.
Oh,
We have no.
I spoke too soon. I'm gonna issue a retraction right here. I feel bad. Right there is exactly what I was looking at.
Apricots.
Like what I was looking for.
No peaches, no plums, no apples. Like I'm a little bit crushed over this. So we're feeling this even in our own garden, and yet there's so much that we can grow. This won't affect our raspberries or our blackberries. We'll still have food. It will be different food.
Yeah.
And that's okay. Yeah. We like raspberries and blackberries. Okay, number 5, and we talked a little bit about this, but learn what foods you can substitute, right? You don't have any beef? Well, and okay, eggs are also going to
I don't like this.
be in short supply. Not for us because we have our own chickens, but if you don't have beef, how about beans or lentils, or maybe you move to chicken if that's what it's available for.
Canned meat, dude. We just learned this with the Costco thing.
Look and see what you can substitute. Don't just give up. But if you're priced out of beef, there are other things that you can use instead of beef. And number 6, skills.
That's exactly my issue. A lemon tree in Chicago without a greenhouse sounds like an idea my wife would have. This is why it's hard to share a garden.
Learn how to cook from scratch. Learn how to garden. Work with your neighbors. Community is so important. Like, I will produce much more food in my garden.
What happened with Costco? So a lot of people are not buying red meats anymore. They're buying canned meats like canned tuna and chicken. And Costco said that is one of the major indicators that a recession is not like coming, it's here.
Garden,
which most recessions, we've already, like, we as the consumer can already tell this. What sucks is that we have a government that's totally lying to us about this shit.
Me and my family will be able to eat, and that means that we can share with our neighbors.
Yeah. Ironic how it's so much like worse, and we kind of now have to lament like, oh wow, yeah, at least there was a time where the government had to release like this nonpartisan data, so the rest of the world could kind of plan around it, and we didn't really we didn't tolerate fuckery with it, but now it's all fuckery.
Yes. And some of them can grow things that I can't grow, and they can share with me. So
clip this part and use it as socialist propaganda. Let's go.
As we work together, we'll make it, right? So work on any of those skills. Home preservation. Yeah. We love to freeze dry, but we also bottle. Can you preserve
bottle jarring
your food?
Yeah.
What can you do, even if it's just dehydrating with a solar dehydrator? Yeah. Another skill that is really important is how to stretch meals and not waste. So one of the tips that we do a lot is we'll make a big soup from all of the vegetables.
Is this their full-time thing? It has to be their full-time thing, because you understand how, like, this is, again, what pisses me off about some of the, like, this advice is how it's impractical to most people.
And the leftovers.
Because people don't have the time to devote to farming their own fucking land.
That are in the fridge, right? We just make this big pot of soup, and
this is great if you're a stay-at-home mom.
You're not wasting. Or if there's like little bits of leftover cereal or leftover fruit, things like that, I'll make a batch of muffins and I'll put that all in the muffins, and it just gives it new life, and it helps us so that we're not wasting and we can take best advantage of the food that we do have.
Now, I'm glad, Mama, that you mentioned working together as a community. And we talk about that.
Don't call her mama.
A lot of
Stop calling her mama
on our channel, but seriously, that is the way that we get through all the challenges of our lives, is through our community. Get to know your neighbors, get to know your friends from around the corner or down the road. Build your
dude, shut up. Some of us don't like our fucking neighbors, man. Some of us have neighbors that are just out and out pricks.
Your community.
Like, shut up. I hate this hippy dippy bullshit, and I'm a hippie.
And
what the fuck?
What people do and how they can.
No, the practical reality set, like, literally. Next door, assholes. Got a big giant fucking Trump flag that they just recently took down in their garage. Big ass truck, annoying as shit. Yeah, whatever. I got another neighbor to my other side here, old lady. I have tried to be nice to her, but she is so crotchety that it's just like she gets angry when I say hello. Like, fuck her. Yeah, and then the rest, then I got like an entire block of Polish people that hate each other and also simultaneously hate me.
Benefit each other. That's the beauty of our world, is learning to work together. And because of working together, we all get through things so much better. So think about the things that we've talked about, not just the drivers, because we can't really control those, but think about the things we can do.
Have I looked into stoicism? No.
That will truly make a difference in our food security. And now for the question of the day, what are you doing this week to strengthen your food security? Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's learn from each other.
Sounds like Pep has a sitcom on his hands.
Let's build together and make ourselves stronger. Thanks for being part of the solution.
I think we should go get more chocolate. I really do. I know it's expensive, but
you're worth it.
Oh, good answer, Johnny. Good answer.
They might have won me back at the end there. Still, there's something. I don't know what it is. There's something off-putting about them. Like I said, though, the advice is not bad. Oh, perfect. Like, look at that. Perfect segment wrap. Pepcom. Oh, let's not. There's a huge chocolate recall again this week. Really? Uh-oh. What happened? That's not good. They did say that quality would be impacted. So, geez, they were dead on about that, huh? Shit. Well, I appreciate you guys being here today. If you haven't already hit the like button on the stream, please consider doing so. Also, sub to the channel if you have not already. Make your way over to @Pep Talks TV and also subscribe to my channel. Check out my live streams. I live stream every day at about 4 p.m. for 6 to 8 hours, depending. We have some fun. So come and join us over there. I will be on at around 4 p.m. today. Might even be a little earlier. We'll see. Realistically, if I go live early, it's because I gotta do something with my OBS. But I do appreciate you guys hanging out. So stick around for the Power Report, and I will see you guys for primetime Pepaganda tomorrow. Peace.
Who the heck is Pep Talks?
I'm not gay, but I fantasize about Marco Rubio. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Pep Talks. Let's eradicate the Kung Flu. I'm literally coming. Pep Talks. Pep Talks.
Who the heck is Pep Talk?
They want our women. They want our children.
Pep Talk.
Sometimes no means yes. Grab them by the Pep Talk. Grab them by the Marco Rubio. Obama is a racist.
Pep Talk.
I'm literally coming. I'm literally coming.
Pep Talks.
We found weapons of mass destruction. My fellow Americans, it has been confirmed today from Pep Talks that we are indeed all high on politics.